No way, check this out. Hello, little buddy. Come here. Come here. This is a special snake. Oh my goodness. Hey, bud. This is like the cutest snake on the planet. On today's adventure into southern Mississippi, we're going to be looking for a variety of snake species. This whole area is under threat of being cleared, so any snakes we find, we got to get out of here. Now if you have a look at where we're at right now, this is kind of a piney, sandy area that we're in, but if you look behind me, you'll see this isn't perfectly natural forest. You see pine trees, only pine trees, and kind of all this little scrub, and the pine trees are in rows. This is pine tree farm. Now a lot of people see this and think, oh, this is just kind of normal woods. Absolutely, completely disturbed habitat. They thin trees every, I believe, 7 years, and every third thinning, they clear out 100% of the trees, 100% of the brush, and all the wildlife that moved in during that time gets absolutely decimated. It's still a good area to find animals, because areas from the outside, kind of all the animals kind of move in from it, but this is very disturbed habitat, and anything that we find here, we can either release somewhere else or bring with us. Either way, though, good place to find animals, not a good place for them to live. Check this out, guys. It's a little rattlesnake. This isn't exactly what we're looking for, but this is really cool to show you guys. Look at this. Hey, bud. Oh, you're going to be well behaved for us. This is a little baby canebrake rattlesnake. Have a look at that. Now, this is an area where the range of the canebrake and the diamondback overlap. You're going to get possible canebrakes and diamondbacks out here. Now this would be a little one, but not a newborn, probably about half a year to a year old. Cute little guy. Moving around right now, probably hunting for a little mouse or something like that. And like I said, this is very disturbed habitat, but these rattlesnakes really do well in this kind of stuff. They do a lot better with the land clearings and all the different kinds of burns. And what's good about this little spot specifically that we're in right now is that it's got some gopher tortoises. In fact, right over there is where we filmed our gopher tortoise video. So whenever they're clearing everything, if the hole doesn't get filled in, these rattlesnakes will kind of just sit with the gopher tortoises in their burrow and be perfectly fine. Now, these guys give birth to live young, so a larger female would probably be in this area. It would give birth once a year to probably a litter of about 12 to 24 little baby rattlesnakes, on average at least. They could have less or more, that's just kind of the average there. And a very cool little rattlesnake. The difference between a canebrake and a timber is kind of subtle, but down south we tend to get more canebrakes. And the difference is, timbers are much darker, and they tend to have a little bit of a different pattern sometimes. And on canebrakes you'll see there's this copper band running straight down the back. And that's an easy way to tell the difference. A lot of people consider them to be the same snake, but they are technically different. Oftentimes you're going to find rattlesnakes, water moccasins, racers, rat snakes, and a bunch of other common snakes before you find any of the rare ones. We knew this area had a few very special snakes in it, but we had no idea we'd actually find one of them. No way, check this out. Hello, little buddy. Come here. Come here. This is a special snake. Oh my goodness. Hey, bud. Look at that. That's a hognose snake. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at him. He's hooding up. I've never seen one of these guys before. He's got a little messed up shed on his tail. This is like the cutest snake on the planet. Now this hognose snake, this would be a yearling. This is a very little one. They can max out at just under 4 feet, but that would be an insanely massive hognose snake. Now this snake is extremely variable. They can have loads of different colors. Look at the little face. This has got to be the cutest snake around. Some people have told me this is like their favorite snake. It's one that they've wanted us to feature for a while now. And this is a very rare species for us, meaning this is the first one that I've ever seen. And literally, I haven't even seen a pet eastern hognose before. Literally, they're not a snake that a lot of people keep because their diet is so specific. They only eat toads, which is something crazy about hognoses, is they're toad-specific snakes. See, what they have on the back of their mouth, they have what's called rear fangs, and they're these big teeth basically at the back of their throat for popping toads. See, a defense that toads have is they blow up with air. and they puff up with air so things can't eat them, like garter snakes and ribbon snakes. But hognose snakes just go pop, and the toad pops, it deflates, and then they have their meal. Hognose snakes are a very special snake. Now, western hognose snakes are probably going to be one that a lot of people are familiar with. The one that people mostly keep as pets. You'll see albinos and all these different color morphs, so you don't get to see easterns that much. Now, out here, they like edges. That's their favorite place to find them, and you're most likely going to see these guys out in the open. You're not going to, sometimes you can find them under things, but mostly you're going to see them kind of in the edges, and with what I've heard is you're going to see them taking off into the brush. Now, right now, it's kind of morning, almost afternoon kind of time, and he'd kind of be starting his day, kind of getting back into the woods, getting into the shade after heating up a little bit in the sun. Now, like I said before, this is a yearling hognose snake. This wouldn't be a newborn, but it's definitely not an adult. And this is your standard gray coloration for this snake. It's got a little bit of orange on its neck, and that pointed nose is an easy way to identify hognose snakes here. Now, you'll see this is a very fat, chubby snake. I mean, look, he's a little fat sausage-looking snake. And a lot of people just find this snake really cute. Even a lot of people that don't like snakes know what hognoses are and think they're a really cute snake. Oh, look at me sticking his tongue out. And he hasn't hooded up or played dead yet. I'd really like to show him playing dead. That's really when they get scared, is when they play dead, but I still just really want to show you guys this snake's behavior. It's such a unique snake species, meaning in this area, like there's no other snake that hoods up like a hognose snake does. It literally looks like a little cobra. And there's no other snake that plays dead like a hognose snake. Now, he really hasn't done too much of the defensive displays that I was really hoping to show you guys when we found a hognose snake. Like, he didn't play dead when I grabbed him, and he only hooded up a few times. But really, I don't want to stress this snake out. You know, he's being really calm. He's being a really good boy. He's not upset with us or anything like that. So we're not going to harass him any more than we have to get those shots. Once again, I'm really hoping those hooding up shots came out good because I wanted to show you guys some of that. But once again, we're not going to harass this snake to get those shots for this video. And I'm sure you guys will be cool with that because, I mean, look at this snake. You can see, you can already tell that this is a special snake by looking at it. It's super cute. You know, it's fat like a little sausage and it's got that little hook nose. This is like one of the cutest snakes possible to find out here, so I'm really glad we got to show you guys this snake, even though we didn't get too much of that defensive behavior on camera. I'm just glad to get to find one and show you one. Now, the hognose snake comes in many different phases. They can be black, orange. I've even heard of some people finding like a light bluish green variant of this snake, but they all kind of start out with this light gray color. And eventually he's going to start developing a completely different color. I already see a little bit of orange on his neck, so I'd have to guess that this is kind of going to be a more orangish tan coloration for this snake, but there's really no way of knowing. This snake could turn solid black for all I know. Now, hognose snakes are incredibly variable also with their pattern. They can have checkered patterns, blotch patterns. Some people have even found them partly striped. It's such a variable snake. And the eastern hognose is kind of underappreciated because most people just see the western hognoses because they're the ones that they see in the pet stores. The easterns are the ones that you see in the wild, more kind of the southeast parts of North America. And even up north you can get them, but they are considered endangered in those parts of the world just because they're much more uncommon up there and there's just not nearly as many of them. Now, the different colorations for this snake help it really adapt to different environments. The solid black one, I would have to guess, helps them heat up better. But this variant, as babies, what this pattern basically helps them do is camouflage incredibly well. If you see those little patterns, all these little things, blend in really well with pine needles and bark and all this kind of stuff around here. Now, you're mostly going to find them in, you know, kind of areas like this, edges of woods, and you can find them in disturbed habitat and you can find them in perfect pristine woods. You know, you can really find these guys kind of anywhere. You could accidentally stumble upon one in a neighborhood even. I mean, this snake is kind of a widespread snake. It's just not one you see often. It's just an uncommon snake species to see. Now, Florida is probably one of the best places to find them in, and their numbers have been decreasing in Louisiana for quite some time now, so it's really special for me to be able to get to see this snake. What I want to show you guys real quick, come with me real quick. Look all behind me right here. Now, that's actually water. That's a pond right there. And I'd have to imagine that there's a lot of toads around here. We haven't found any toads today, but I have to imagine that there's a bunch of them and they'd be coming out at night. And him being right kind of in the vicinity of this pond means that there's going to be toads breeding in that pond, and that's a constant source of food for the snake. This guy would only be able to eat baby toads. That's what these guys eat. So that is food source natural environment, a wooded edge, and I'd have to guess that there's some burrows or even some logs back here that he could go hide in during the day. He'd be out here hunting at night or hunting the mornings and evenings at this edge. Go down to that little area down there for some water. This guy's got a really good setup area right here, even though this is completely disturbed habitat. This is kind of just a perfect little setting to find a baby hognose in, but the problem with this is this could be wiped out in 1 second, you know, completely. Just be gone in one day and this snake dead, and I'm sure many other snakes in this area as well. So it's not a safe area for them to be in. Now unfortunately this snake gets killed all the time, especially by farmers out here, and the reason being, this thing looks so similar to a pygmy rattlesnake. Very similar. Not only they are really little fat-bodied snake, but their pattern is very difficult to tell. Like literally, you have to kind of get up to the snake because from far away, there's no telling whether it's a hognose or a pygmy rattlesnake. They're a really difficult species for people that don't recognize snakes to differentiate. It's a really, really cool snake though. I wish people didn't kill them. And that's why I really do these videos, is to help people identify these snakes to where they're not going to kill this little poor hognose that's just kind of cruising around eating toads. Well guys, this has been absolutely incredible finding an eastern hognose snake, and we're going to be bringing this guy with us, getting him out of this kind of area that can be cleared very, very soon. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully we'll be able to show you guys this snake happy and healthy maybe a couple months from now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you did enjoy, definitely leave a like, and I will see you guys next time. Alright, come on little buddy.